How about that? Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 1:15 p.m. on June 3rd, 2020. It's a previously announced meeting of the Chesapeake Beach Ethics Commission. Next item on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
of the United
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Next item is not written on the agenda. It is to amend the agenda. And the amendments would be as follows. After what is now H, comments of commissioners and members of the public, we have adjournment. And then after that would be closed session. The items which are now paragraphs C and E would be moved to the closed session and therefore would not be part of the open session. So it would be now, the items for the open session are approval of the May 19th minutes, review of disclosures identified at the May 19th meeting as having problems that had to be addressed, approved disclosures regarding which there are no questions, consideration of suggested changes in rules of procedure, scheduling the next meeting, comments by the commissioners, and then adjourn, and then close session. Is there any discussion about these proposed changes in the agenda?
Yeah,
No.
Phil, this is Fred. Just in terms of process, at the end of the open session, as part of the adjournment, it would be adjourned and together with a motion to go into closed session.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Because the motion to go into closed session has to be made in open session.
Gotcha. You're right. Absolutely. Okay. Perfect. Any other comments?
None.
Nope, it looks
All
fine.
all in favor of the revised agenda indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Yeah, let the minutes show it was approved unanimously. You all have copies of the minutes of the May 19th meeting. Are there any comments or corrections?
None.
All right, then the minutes as were provided to us are approved as they are. Okay. At the May 19th meeting, there were several imperfections noted. Sharon, can you go through them? I think you have better notes than I do.
Oh, let me see.
Or I can try it and be corrected as I make mistakes. How about that?
Well, we can kind of go along. I know that underneath of the elected officials, we had an issue with Valerie Bodine.
Yeah. And that was the main thing there was a signature, right?
The signature and her Form A was she needed if she had a co-owner, and checking last year she did, so probably she just overlooked it.
Yeah. And, that's not the question of a co-owner on a piece of property that was bought, let's see how many years ago. Hold on a second. Let's say when it was bought in 1989. I think that's a sort of ridiculous thing that the ordinance requires, but it has nothing to do with any possible corruption or conflict of interest. So I would suggest that we not disapprove on the grounds of failing to note the co-owner. And maybe send her an email or just phone call suggesting that she correct this sometime in the near future.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm sure it was just a minor oversight.
Yeah, okay. I had a note that we needed larger type on her list of investments, but I actually, a couple of days ago, sent us all a larger type version, so she doesn't have to do anything.
Yes, it's just portions of publicly held stocks.
Yeah. Something on Form F. All right, the question I had on Form F is something I'd like to discuss in the closed meeting. All right, Jaworski.
Well, we had Fink too.
Oh, he had Fink. What was the problem with
Charlie Fink, all he needed to do was, he had 2 properties on that one form, so we wanted him to have 2 forms for that.
I see. Okay. Okay. So I know I did not communicate to him. Have you?
No, I have not, but I
Okay.
don't think it's a reason to not approve him though, because he does have the information there. He just doesn't have it on two forms.
Yes. Okay. And that explains. All right. Yeah. So we'll ask him to have 2 forms for the 2 pieces of property, but obviously he's identified. Well, and one of them is in Chesapeake Beach, and the other is outside Chesapeake Beach. And again, it's to me silly that we're asking for the address of property that cannot be affected by anything town council does. But we will either Sharon or I will send him an email asking him to make Form A 2 separate pieces of paper. And what was it on Jaworski?
Jaworski was the question of the gifts form.
Which form? F? Yeah, all right.
For gifts.
Yeah. All right. Did anybody see any any possible violation of the ordinance in the gifts that he records here?
No.
No.
All right. And we'll just say we don't need to approve. On Keith Cardiac, I guess there's another one where we were questioning whether there should have been a co-owner listed.
Yes. And I checked last year's, and he did not have a co-owner last year, so I'm assuming the same for this year.
Okay, I just care that. So I think we can approve everyone except Bodine.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, okay. I'm going to just take them in alphabetical order and ask for unanimous consent. And then that'll go on the record that way. Derek Favre, unanimous consent that his disclosure is approved. Hearing no objection, it is approved by unanimous consent. Lawrence Fink, is there any objection to our approving his disclosures? There's no objection. His disclosures are approved unanimously. Larry Jaworski, is there any objection to approving his disclosures?
No.
Hearing none, we approve his disclosures unanimously. Patrick Mahoney, is there any objection to his disclosures?
No.
Hearing none, we have approved Mahoney's unanimously. Greg Morris, is there any objection to approving? Hold on one second. Let's go to Keith Pardiak. Is there any objection to anything in Mr. Pardiak's disclosures?
No.
Hearing none,
No.
they're approved. And let me look at something on Morris. Sorry about this. Yeah, there are some changes in his real estate disclosures from the previous year, including a new piece of property, a newly disclosed piece of property in West Virginia. For crying out loud. But, he said it in 2018. Let's just, for safety, look at that one in closed session. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Sure.
So we've approved Ray, Fink, Jaworski, Mahoney, and Pardiak, and we're going to look more carefully at Bodine and Morris in the closed session. Okay. As of the beginning of the last meeting, lack of signatures for Sharon, myself, and Mike. Have they all been taken care of?
Yeah, I sent a copy in about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I sent a copy to you. And I sent a copy, Phil, of mine.
Okay. And I took care of mine. We got a problem. Okay. Is Holly on the line?
She should be, because she just put up the agenda again, I think.
Yeah, there's Holly.
Or at least,
You're
but
muted,
she might
Holly?
be muted.
Oh, she's connected
Never
to
mind.
audio.
I had a note to ask Holly about Form C, but I don't see any. I'm looking at it now, and I don't see what my question was. So, unless anyone else
She resubmitted that.
That's right.
She
Remember that had
corrected
to do with the business?
Yeah, sources
Yeah.
of burned in.
Yes.
Yeah, she resubmitted that to you, Phil,
Oh,
via email.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she took care of that.
Okay, great. And then John Castro, I think, forgot to check on Form F, I believe.
And Phil, I'm on the call. I apologize. I'm having some connection issues myself, but I am here. This is Holly.
I'm sorry, say that again?
This is Holly. I'm on the call. I'm having some connection issues also, but I am here.
That's funny. Okay. All right. Now, John Castro failed to check the first set of blocks on Form F. So I just suggest we not approve his right now, and we will send him an email or give him a phone call to correct that, okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then, so here we are gonna go through the list of appointed officials, those which we can approve at this point. Okay. Jay Berry, any objection?
No.
No objection. Approved. Laura Blackwelder, any objection?
No.
Hearing none,
No.
hers is approved. Larry Brown, any objection?
No.
Hearing none, it's approved. Dale Clark, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Jonathan Evans, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Randall Getman, any objection?
No.
Hearing none, it's approved. Robert Gray, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Cynthia Gold, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Margaret Hartman, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Sharon Hum, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Chris Jakubiak, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Philip Keith, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Ingrid Lamb, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Mike Lissenbigler, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Connie Odell, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Todd Pounds, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Dominique Soroka, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Frederick Sussman, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Marilyn Van Wagner, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Holly Wall, any objection? Hearing none, it's approved. Okay, that takes care of. We've gone through paragraphs, agenda B and what was D. Next item on the agenda is consideration of suggested changes in commission rules of procedure. I'm the only one who's made those suggestions, and I'm not personally prepared to deal with it at this meeting unless somebody sees something that's urgent in it.
No, why don't we wait on that?
Okay.
Phil,
So
excuse
we'll,
me, Phil, this is Fred Sussman.
yes.
Have there been new revision to the rule proposed since the last meeting? I'm trying to remember, what was still pending.
You reminded us that there were two things that had been proposed for changes, and we then approved both of them.
Right.
And so we will, next regular meeting of the commission. Yeah. Kind of, I think it's possible that as a result of the closed meeting, we may want to meet in a week or two, but we won't know that until we have that discussion.
So why don't we hold off on that?
Okay, yeah, we don't have to set the next meeting in open meeting, right?
Yeah, you probably should, but what you can do is not adjourn the open session today, but recess it, and then have your motion go into closed session. And when you adjourn the closed session, you go back into open session.
To discuss the, okay.
rescheduling, and if there's anything else that you need to discuss as a result of the closed session, you can do that in open session. So the only difference is instead of adjourning the open session shortly, you'll take a motion to recess it and to go into closed session. At the end of the closed session, you'll adjourn the closed session to go back into open session.
Okay. All right.
You'll have to check, you'll have to check with Holly to see if she can leave it open while we're away.
All right,
You know.
hold it, time out. Let's set a meeting for 2 weeks from today.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
That works.
Then okay, at the same time, what date is that? Does anyone have?
Wednesday, the 17th.
17th. Which date? 17th?
Yes, 17th.
17.
Okay. And then we can modify that as necessary. All in favor of scheduling it for 1 p.m. on June 17th? Indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. We have before us a motion
Fred,
to
your
adjourn.
key is very loud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, good. Okay. There's a motion now before us to adjourn the regular meeting and a motion to go into closed session. Is there any discussion?
None.
Phil,
All right.
Phil, wait a minute,
Yes.
Phil. You're going to change that, not to adjourn the open session, but to recess the open session.
No, that was because we wanted to come
Okay.
back to do the scheduling.
Okay, my apologies.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor of adjourning and going into closed session indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Passed unanimously. Then somebody's going to do something to get us into closed session, I believe.
So you instructions on accessing the closed session. So we're actually going to close out of this meeting and you're going to enter a new meeting.
Okay.
You do a password.
Will I have a new phone number?
Yes, it's a whole new meeting.
Okay. Where will I find that? Is that on email?
Yes.
Yes, Sharon just sent it to you.
About yesterday.
Okay.
Holly, I think the phone number is the same.
Yes, that's right. The phone number is the same. The meeting ID will be different and there is a password as well.